Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to our channel. Today, we dive into a chilling Reddit story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible stories. In July 2018, a 28-year-old man named Richard Fuller discovered a home listing page while looking for a house to buy for when he and his fiancée got married that October. The home was for sale by owner, however it was listed on a listing website Fuller had never heard of before. He even asked his father, who was a real estate agent, and he had never heard of it before either. The home was insanely large for a one-story house, but what really turned the couple on about the house was it was only listed for $35,000. The website was kind of sketchy. It seemed like an advertising site for houses for sale by owner, so he didn't think much of it, but the price? He really questioned that. There were 10 photos of the property, 5 exterior, 5 interior. The interior pictures showed the house pretty well kept. It needed some upgrades. It was a bit old looking, but that didn't really bother him. He also saw that it sat on a 4-acre lot, and only for $35,000. Since it was by owner, there was no listing agent. So he called the owner's phone number advertised on the website. It said to call for the address. The site showed it was located in a town an hour away from his. There's no tours available for some reason, but he called for the address just so he could drive by it to see the location. The phone rang for quite some time before a muffled old man's voice answered the phone saying hello. Fuller explained that he saw the advertisement and he was calling to get the house address. Immediately, in a different, more clear and younger sounding voice, the man on the phone started chanting an address nonstop. Eventually, Fuller said thank you and hung up. He found that odd, but then he thought that it might have been an advertisement replay for the house. After that, he discovered something he thought was good. He scrolled to the bottom of the page to see a line saying, "Open houses every day, all day, starting August 1st. If you don't know what that means, an open house is something usually a real estate agent would host, but in this case the seller is hosting it, where anyone can walk through a property for sale without scheduling a tour. Usually you can make an offer on the house during open houses as well. So, considering August was only a week away, he called his fiancée, and they both agreed to go on August 2nd, because that was their available day. On August 2nd, 2018, the couple put the house address into their GPS and left for the hour drive. They both were extremely excited, because they were thinking about making an offer while there. Eventually, they got to the point where the GPS told them to go off on a side road. It said they were 15 minutes away from the house. The side road was a 2-lane road with a lot of forests and farms on it. There were barely any houses. They didn't think much of it, considering the house sat on 4 acres. They kept driving until the GPS told them to go on another unusual road. However, this time it was a very narrow road, nothing surrounding but thick forests, until they got to a large rope that was tied across the road with a wood sign on it. The sign said, "Open house ahead," carved into the wood sign. Below the writing, there was a carving of a skull below it. They felt very uneasy about this place now. Why would they put the rope across the road blocking traffic? Fuller got out of the car and untied the rope to get by. They drove away until the GPS now said signal lost. Fuller's fiancée as well said that she had lost signal. Now, they felt extremely uneasy, and even though they knew they probably couldn't live in that location, they kept going assuming there would probably be a better way in if they ever lived there. Without the GPS, Fuller had no idea where to drive. He stopped the car and put the address into Google Maps to see how far away it was from them. Google Maps showed that it was only 2 roads away from where they currently were at. He memorized all the turns he had to take, and he drove away. Eventually, they reached the end of the road and took some more turns until they got onto a wider, but still creepy road with thick forests surrounding them. All they could see was forests, so when they saw a post up ahead on the side of the road, they got excited. They pulled up to the post to see it was hanging another wood sign with carved writing saying, "Open house here," with the carved skull again. And what do you know, that was the house they could see down a long drive away. They went down the drive away and parked in front of the garage. They saw no other cars for the open house except an old rusty truck beside the house. They assumed it was the owner. They walked up to the front door and knocked. However, no one answered. The door was unlocked, so they walked into the dark, empty house. They yelled they were there for the open house in case someone was there. They immediately smelled something awful, like something rotting, but there was no furniture in the house and it was empty, so they didn't know what it was. They went into the kitchen to see a thing of cookies and a white sticky note next to them saying, "Welcome to the open house. Feel free to look around all you want." The cookies smelled fresh, so Fuller ate one, and they tasted pretty good. They still were trying to identify the smell. They looked around some more and walked back to the master bedroom to find a wood box laying in the middle of the floor. Fuller opened the box to see it contained a journal, jewelry, and a plastic bag with multiple Polaroid photos in it. He opened the journal curiously to see that there was an entry in it. "Here's what the photo Fuller took of it shows," the journal said. "Yes, grammar is wrong. That's how it was spelled in the journal. I felt like this is the only the I can talk to. It haunts me and my sister every shingle night. It smiles and his face is white. Mommy doesn't believe me, but I see it in my nightmares. And Sissy does too." Fuller froze when he read that first entry. He flipped a page to see a Polaroid photo of a man with glowing red eyes in a dark red cloak standing in some doorway in a gutted room. The second entry read, "This Isham were home alone and he's knocking on the basement door. It sees us. Sister said she'll go check, but she hasn't returned." Fuller's eyes got wide seeing that, but then something absolutely chilling swept through his body, realizing that the house the two alleged children were talking about was the one they were in. His fiancée suggested they leave, but Fuller flipped to the next and final journal entry reading, "Mommy's home. She's went to get Clarice in the basement, but there's banging sounds. I'll go check." Fuller then flipped to the next page to see blood stains all over the page. He immediately shut the journal and grabbed the Polaroid photo bag. The photos were marked. The first was the dark red cloak photo from the journal. Below it is written Nightmare Man. The next photo was unmarked and showed some sort of closet with blood stains on the handle. The next photo was a picture of a stairwell and some person laying at the bottom. There were lots of photos. Fuller looked at them all. They all showed some sort of man with glowing red eyes and a dark red cloak, but the final one showed a trail of blood all along the basement marked. Fuller freaked out, put the photos back in the box, and shut the box. He told his fiancée that they needed to leave. When they walked to the door, it was locked, and they hadn't locked it, and there was no way to unlock it. Beside the door was now an open door they didn't open, but wasn't open when they entered. They looked down to see a staircase, the same one from the photo. It was the basement stairs. The house had no advertisement for a finished basement for some reason, but they realized that's where the rotting smell was coming from, so they walked down there slowly. The stairway opened up to a large finished basement. In front of the stairs were two old double doors that were open, leading to the gutted room from the photo in the journal. It seemed to be the utility room. Scattered across the floors was blood. Eventually, they opened a door exactly where the rotting smell was coming from. The door said laundry on it. So Fuller barged open the door and saw the most terrifying scene of his life. 3 people laying there lifeless. Immediately, Fuller ran out and said they needed to leave and go to the police station. However, they looked over in the open basement room, the dark room, to see a person standing there with glowing red eyes and a dark red cloak, slowly walking towards them. They raced up the stairs and out the sliding glass door to the backyard. They went around the house, got in a car, and took off. They went to the police station and told them this entire story. They said they would go to the house to investigate. A day later, August 3rd, 2018, Richard Fuller received a phone call from the police saying they went to the house to investigate, but they saw no wood box, and in the basement, they saw no bodies, no truck parked beside the house. The only thing accurately found was the cookies with the sticky note. They passed it off as probably a practical joke. To this day, 6 years later, Richard Fuller and his now wife still look back at this situation with chills. They know they're not crazy. They saw what they saw, and they found what they found, but there's nothing else they could do. This leaves them an exciting story to tell for the rest of their lives. Who knows who the man with the glowing red eyes and the dark red cloak was? Who knows what those journal entries were about? But they've come to terms that they'll probably never have answers. This is just one crazy unsolved mystery. What do you guys think happened? Was it a prank or something much darker? We'd love to hear your theories. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more creepy content.